Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Delusions of Hope here with OBP Gaming, here to bring you the first official for the second time video to the channel. I have revamped everything. I've had some people look over it, and I think I've got it to where I like. I've got a stream schedule set up, so figured what the hell, I'll give YouTube the 20th shot. I've had so many channels out there right now that it's kind of crazy, but for the first video, I thought I'd bring you a deck tech from Hearthstone with my absolute favorite deck, and I call it Divine Powa. And this is the one I use in ranked, and I'm actually on a win streak right now with it. I think I'm at rank 12, um, and I've beaten a lot of net decks with it. So it's a pretty easy deck to make. There's only one legendary, and he's really not even needed. There are a couple epics that are kind of needed for the deck, but the rest of them you can pretty much are rare or below. So it's a pretty easy deck to throw together. So I just thought I'd bring it to you and show you what it is. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see the curve here, we've got 6 1 drops, 2 2 drops, 8 3 drops, 9 4 drops, 4 6 drops, and 1 7 drops. So the curve on it is pretty low, with us peaking at 3 and 4, so it's a mid-range deck. The reason I don't run a lot of 2 drops is because our hero power is usually pretty good on turn 2, so we'll go ahead and start with the 1 drops. The first one I play is Blessing of Wisdom, and it's choose a minion. Whenever that minion attacks, draw a card. I have found this card very useful on the defensive and the offensive. This deck can run out of steam really quick, so equipping this to a shielded minion can make it a target, and sometimes it takes 2 turns for them to deal with it, especially if you can throw it on an Argent Squire, so you can get 2 cards out of it. Or you can throw it on one of their creatures. Sometimes when I'm playing Zoo, I'll throw it on maybe a Voidwalker or something to keep them from attacking and buy myself a couple turns till I can start stabilizing. So, but it is a good card draw mechanic. I don't run the 3 caster. Let me find it here. Divine Favor, because we aren't an aggro deck, we're more of a mid-range control deck. So Divine Favor really doesn't work against stuff like Zoo or Aggro Hunter or Backspace Rogue or some stuff like that. So I've chosen Blessing of Wisdom, and I really haven't been dissatisfied with it. So the second one drop that we run is Noble Sacrifice. It's a secret that when an enemy attacks, summon a 2/1 defender as the new target. This is really good to especially if you're playing against aggro, to slow the bleeding until you can start getting your divine shields active. But it also helps to protect something that may have a Blessing of Wisdom on it, or one of your creatures. So I found it really good, especially against heroes that have attack like hero powers such as Rogue or Druid. So it's just a good defensive card against aggro to slow the bleeding until you can start playing Divine Shield minions to start trading 2 for 1 a lot of the time, or to protect some of your threats that you want to keep around. And then the third one drop that we run is Argent Squire. It's a 1/1 for 1 with Divine Shield. This is probably one of the most efficient 1 drops in the game because a lot of the time it can go 2 for 1. And since the deck is Divine Powa, Divine Shield's kind of a centerpiece for it, so it synergizes a lot with stuff in the deck, such as Sword of Justice, or throwing a Blessing of Kings onto it. And it also works well with Blood Knights, which I'll get to here in a second. At the 2 drop, I run 2 Argent Protectors. It's a 2/2 for 2 with a Battle Cry. Give a friendly minion Divine Shield. This is really solid because it lets you, say if you Argent Squire on turn 1, they drop something, you kill it, and then you can Divine Shield again, just to keep curving out. But more often than not, I'll play, say, like a Blood Knight, make him a 6/6 or a 9/9, and then give him Divine Shield on the same turn, or give something Blessing of Kings, and then Divine Shield it just to protect it. So he's a very versatile card, and he is a 2/2 for 2, so he curves out pretty well. And then, like I said, a lot of the time, if we don't get coin, a lot of the time we will hero power, or drop two one drops on turn two as well. So that's why we only run that's and there's really no other solid two drop, at least in my opinion, that works well with this deck. So moving on to the three drops, which is probably our heaviest curve besides maybe the four drops. Sword of Justice is kind of the backbone of the deck. It's a three caster, one attack power, five durability weapon that whenever you summon a minion, give it 1/1, and this weapon loses one durability. This is really good with all the Divine Shield minions because it makes them bigger, so you just get more use out of them. So you can trade, say, an Argent Squire for a 2/2 twice, or make a Silver Moon Guardian a 4/4 for only four with Divine Shield. So it just makes your Divine Shield minions just that much more efficient. I've also started going a little bit aggro with this card. If I need to finish something off, I'm not afraid to use it to finish something off and then bump a minion up. So, just in all, it's just the workhorse of the deck. It just makes all your other cards just that much more efficient. One of the only creatures in the deck that doesn't have Divine Shield outside of Argent Protector, which gives Divine Shield, is Eldor Peacekeeper, and he's a three caster, 3/3 with a battle cry, changing enemy minions attack to one. He is in here for the big reason he's in here for is hand lock to deal with 8/8s, but he does really well against Ramp Druid as well. If they go turn two Wild Growth, turn three Yeti, it just stops the bleeding and it puts a solid body on the board. So he is a good way to deal with big drops. I will turn to him out against Zoo if they play like a Flame Imp or something, just to slow the bleeding. So just an all around solid card, and he's a way to deal with really big threats, which this deck does have troubles with it every now and again. I do run two Blood Knights. It's a 3/3. For a 3 that has a battle cry, all minions lose Divine Shield, and he gets 3/3 for each shield that the minions lose. He's really good in the deck because not only is he good offensively with eating your Divine Shields, but Argent Squires ran in Shaman, sometimes in Rogue. He's also ran in Token Druids, and a lot of other Rogue builds, just because Argent Squire. So, going turn two, if you go Argent Squire and they go Argent Squire, going turn two with coin for a 9/9 is pretty devastating. But he is really good offensively as well, because like I said, I'll usually wait till I get an Argent Protector or something to bubble him, just so to keep him from dying. And a lot of the times he will draw out a Hex or a Earthshocker Silences for our later minions, which we don't want to get silenced. So he's also really good for that. The last three drop we have is Scarlet Crusader. Not much to say about this. It's a 3/1 for 3 with Divine Shield. Just another Divine Shield creature that's pretty efficient, especially if you have Sword of Justice. She becomes a 4/2 for 3, which is really good. I run one True Silver Champion. I go back and forth on this, but since we do run one Legendary in the deck, I do run one of these just because it's a good, if you don't have a Sword of Justice out, it's just a good solid removal, and it restores health, which, unlike a lot of Pally decks, I don't run a lot of healing in here because it's more, I don't want to say aggro based, but it's a little bit more mid-ranged and aggro based than a lot of Pally decks, which a lot of Pally decks are a little bit more control-ish. So, but you can substitute just about anything you want in for this, but I've just happened to find True Silver Champions probably the best 4-drop to throw into this slot. I do run two Blessing of Kings. It's a 4-caster, give a minion 4/4. This card is my other answer to Handlock. If I go turn 3 Scarlet Crusader and they can't deal with it, then they go Giant, and then I'll go Blessings of Kings, attack into it, lose my shield, and then if I've got a 1/1/1 on board, I'll just clean it up. So this card has killed many a giant in its day. So and it's also good if you go turn 2 Argent Protector or token, turn 3 coin Blessing of Kings, you got a 5/5. So it also puts a big threat on the board that they have to deal with. I do run 2 Consecrates. It's just a good solid board clear. And with Divine Shield, you can do 3 damage to a 5 toughness creature and do 3 here, still have your creatures on the board, and then completely wipe their board because anything with 2 toughness or less. So, and it's a good aggro stopper as well. So, pretty solid card. I do go back and forth about this card, but right now I'm running two Hammer Wraths, just because it's the only spot removal we have in the deck. It deals with jugglers really well, and any other minions you may have. So, and it replaces itself as well since we don't run stuff like the Azure Drake and stuff like that. A lot of people run even if they don't run a lot of spell power, just because it's a 4/4 for 5 that replaces itself. So it's pretty much getting a 4/4 for free. The only thing you're losing is a turn. So that's why I run it. But spot removal is always good. So Silver Moon Guardian is a 3/3 for 4 with Divine Shield. It's pretty much just a Scarlet Crusader with two more ass and one more casting cost. So, but the deck is based on Divine Shield, and he's just a good solid ball. If you go turn 3 sword, turn 4 he becomes a 4/4 with Divine Shield. So we don't have any 5 drops, so we move on to our 6 drops, and this is the pretty much the two finishers in the deck besides Tyrion himself. The first one's Argent Commander. He's a 4/2 for 6 with charge and Divine Shield. Honestly, he does more. What do you want to call it? Sniping than he does actually damage to the face of this deck, because you clear the road for your smaller stuff to get through. So, and he has charge, which is nice if you do need to push through those last points of damage. He works really well with Sword of Justice, because then he becomes a 5/3 with charge for 6. So it's pretty much a Goblin Rocketeer on steroids. So pretty solid card. The other 6 drop is Sunwalker. It's a 4/5 with taunt for 6 with Divine Shield. She does a lot of work in protecting your other Divine Shield minions, so you can go to the face, because it takes a lot to deal with her, especially with, like, once again, Sword of Justice. She becomes a 5/6, and she's really hard to deal with if they just don't have straight out removal for her, like Polymorph or a Hex or a Siphon Soul. And the last card we run, and this one you could probably replace with the second True Silver Champion if you don't have him, is Tyrion Fordring. He's the only drop we have above 7, and he's a 6/6 Divine Shield Taunt with Death Rattle. Equip a 5/3 Ashbringer. It's another way to protect your other creatures, but he's just a solid card, because even if they silence him, he's still a 6/6 body. So not too bad. But the fact that you get a 5/3 Ashbringer if he dies makes him a real threat, because they got to weigh if they want to kill him or not. So and this deck is very fun to play. I plan on bringing you some play videos with it. It synergizes so well together, just between the buffs you can throw on. Blessing of Wisdom providing you card draw, just flooding the board. Blood Knight, play your Blood Knights correctly, and stuff like that. It's a fun deck. I recommend playing. I've had a blast playing it. I play it on my stream quite a bit, and I'm having fun on rank playing something that isn't net decked. And this also the thesis of the channel, Off the Beaten Path Gaming, is playing something that's a little out there, but is still competitive enough to where you can have fun and still do well at the mid to upper rank. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the deck talk. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe. I plan on bringing more videos now that I've got my stream set up and consistent to where I like it, and have my YouTube channel. I will update this on my Imgur as soon as I get that cleaned up a little bit. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Always remember, for the love of game, and carpe diem. Peace out.